Hey guys, it's Denzel World Peace. So this is my first track breakdown video. I wanted to try one of these. I wanted to break down my new single, Like I Want You with Akacia that just came out. And just tell a little bit more about the story of how the song came about. So it originally started off as like a remix I did for another artist that their management ended up passing on. So I just decided to keep the beat and make my own original song. It went through a lot of iterations and I ultimately hit up Akacia, who's a singer from Australia. I'll link her stuff. She's amazing. She works with a ton of producers on SoundCloud that I look up to. And I sent her the beat, and in a week she sent vocals back. And I mixed everything down, and I want to explain how I did the processing on the vocals and everything, and also explain how I did it and how I made the original demo. I really like doing like ambient stuff in the background, so it originally started off with this sound. And the processing on that sample is just EQ, a little bit of delay, a lot of overdrive and more delay, and compression, just to make everything sound even. So after I had that part done, I put chords over it, and they're just these kind of generic major pop chords. Something I did towards the end here was automate the tone of the piano. So the tone's pretty high in the first 16 bars, but it goes down lower when you get to the main verse part. So after that, I pretty much had the idea for a good start, and I played the chords in on MIDI, and then I tried to do a sort of syncopated version of the chords, and I ended up playing that on a brass synth that I found in Ableton. So it's the same chord progression, just played a little bit more syncopated. And once I had that laid down, I went to adding more synths and more sound effects and more ambient noises and stuff like that. There's also this huge sort of like flume style like brass that I made in Serum. And then there's this little sound effect that I thought was fun. Sounds kind of like a laser. So yeah, moving on from that, once I had everything laid out and the ambient sounds that I got from a old Japanese ambient record, that's barely noticeable, but if you take it out, you'll notice it's not there. It's just a bunch of calming rain noises. So from there I added drums. And there's not too much processing on the drums, just compression and a little bit of saturation. And I turned the bass up a little bit so the kick would hit harder. And altogether we have this as the original first demo. So that just sort of sat with me for a little bit. I made that a little bit over a year ago. I think the project is even called 724. So I made that July in 2019. So I kind of sat with that, didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. And after I hit up this artist, I tried a few different ideas, and then I decided to just put their acapella over the original beat and change things up a little bit. One of the things I added was some percussion from my Electron mono machine, which is really famous because it's what Sophie uses, and a lot of other electronic producers like Autechre use it too. But I used it to do these weird percussion hits in the first few bars. So after that, I talked about how I changed things up a little bit. It still starts exactly the same and goes into the same drums, but around the pre-chorus I added some other stuff. I added this sort of like other ambient flute noise that I believe I reversed and pitched down a little bit. There's still the same processing on it: EQ, overdrive for distortion, and compression to keep everything even. I also added the sound effect in it. There's a lot of sound effects and like ambient noise and like background stuff that I wanted to add to keep something that would usually just be pretty pop kind of interesting. So I'm going to turn her vocal on just so you can get the idea of what how I tried to change the instrumental up to match her style. So that was the first iteration of the remix, and it went through a few more changes. One of my friends from Buffalo, Chris, he produces music under the name Elixir. He came over and he helped me sort of make it a little bit more pop and change some of the the sounds I made so that it'd be a little bit more like accessible and less experimental, but still really good. And I don't believe I have the project file for that demo because he works in Logic and I work in Ableton, and that's on his computer. But I do have the MP3 of what we changed it to. And you'll notice it's the drums and overall structure and mixing of the vocal is completely different. I'm gonna play the one without the vocal just so you can hear how different the sounds we arranged are. So I started the original demo in July and ended up sitting on the remix instrumental since about October. It wasn't up until now that I started shopping it around to people and asking them to sing on it. I emailed Akacia and she was totally down to sing over it and everything like that. Scam Whiteley's calling me. She sent me back her vocals and I'm going to play what she sent me back now with my processing on it. One cool thing we did on it was a lot of harmony engine stuff. That's in a lot of Bon Iver and like Cashmere Cat songs and Francis and the Light songs. And my friend from Australia, Daniel, he produces music under the name Orca, helped me out with that, and we basically put the chords of the progression under the vocal, and the program copied the chords and auto-tuned them so it sounds like a harmony around the original vocal.
Colors move behind your eyes. I know you've been here a million times. Red pill or blue pill, you decide. Somewhere you know we have to draw the line. Do you want me like I want you? Is it undeniable? Do you want me like I want you? Is it undeniable?
Okay, so the first thing I did when I got her original vocals was I used Isotope Nectar, which is a all-in-one vocal processing unit, and I don't believe I used any presets. I just sort of I added some pitch correction, de-essing, EQ, and I believe reverb. And I also added extra de-essing with Fab Filter, just to take the S noises off of her vocal. So my favorite part of the song is at the end, is where the beat completely just drops out and we have the harmony effect on her voice, and it's just that and all of the harmonies, no instrumental or anything like that. It's just her singing, and it sounds like there's 8 robot versions of Akacia singing together like a barbershop quartet.
Colors move behind your eyes, calculating cruel but kind. If you're gonna spill the truth, just say it. My heart's full, but it's not blind.
And that's how I made my first collab with Akacia. There are a lot of people involved with it, from the original idea, which I didn't think would start to be anything, but right now it's one of my favorite songs I've ever made, and I really appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope to do a lot more of these. So thank you guys.